Hi. Um, Welcome to another episode of Big Game Reviews. I'm Big Mike. I know we usually like to do these with two people, but some of us are responsible adults with jobs and stuff, so sometimes you get just me. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Silent Hill HD Collection. That one's going to be quick. Also, I'm going to be doing Silent Hill Downpour, the new one, which I don't know where I put the box art to, but you'll know what it looks like. It's usually in alphabetical order on the shelves anyway. Um, what just happened there? Okay. Um, so, the HD collection, it's going to be short and sweet. The games are as frightening as you remember them. It has all the great puzzles, the scares, and all that stuff that you liked about it. It aged well in that aspect. What it didn't age well in is the actual gameplay, like walking around when you used to controlling the camera with your right stick, going back to that weird fixed camera Resident Evil-y control scheme is takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's worth it for the game itself. Also, the combat's bad, but that's the point. You're not supposed to be some sort of crazy superhero. You're just a dude. So you get Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 3. Still fantastic games. For $40, there's no reason you shouldn't go out and get the Silent Hill HD collection for your PlayStation 3 or your Xbox 360. Now, on to the main event, which is Silent Hill Downpour. I still can't find the box for it, but it doesn't matter. Um, Silent Hill Downpour is an excellent game. I have lots of good stuff for it. So let's get to the good stuff first, because that's what we usually do. I don't know. I'm not actually the responsible one on the show. Jay usually does that sort of thing. I just give him my opinions. So when I do these, I'm a little scatterbrained. So let's start with the good stuff that I liked. Um, it has that it has that Silent Hill atmosphere. So you never know really what's going on. It's all foggy, so you can't see the entire screen. The only thing that you know when an enemy is coming is when you hear your radio going nuts. It doesn't hold your hand. The game doesn't hold your hand like so many modern games have gotten into the habit of doing. There's no beacons showing you where you have to go. There's nothing telling you what you have to do. It's sort of, your one objective in your journal is get out of Silent Hill. That's it. That's as far as they go in telling you what you have to do there. I think that's fantastic. Um, I'm tired of games that hold your hand and don't really let you figure anything out. You know, it's just one of my pet peeves. That's a personal thing, but I'm sure a lot of you out there agree with me. Um, the character Murphy starts out very bland and generic, sort of grows into himself. He ends up being a likable character by the end of the game, and then depending on the end, I'll get to that later. It goes either way. So, as far as a character goes, he's fairly inoffensive, which is what you want out of a survival horror game because the character's not supposed to be the focus. It's supposed to be the actual game. You can explore Silent Hill a lot more. In the older games, it's sort of you can go here and here, but in this one, you can go into the different buildings, move stuff around, get into secret parts. You can pick up certain weapons, let you pull down ladders, and you can get up. it has a lot more exploration than the last game, like than any of the other games. There's also more health and ammo, which not really a bad thing because it's never enough to make you feel really safe. It's just more than you're used to in this sort of survival horror game. The music is fantastic. It really sets the atmosphere when you turn the radio on. I mean, you're already creeped out. You turn the radio on, and it's playing some sort of weird song, and everything's dedicated to Murphy. It puts the whole thing. The music is really goes with the game. Um, the last thing I'm going to talk about, sort of a weird little thing, but you know those parts in a lot of games where you do that sort of tightrope walk thing, and they all have a different way of doing it. Well, this one sets the camera right directly above you, and you're looking down, and there's always a void, and it gives you a real sense of vertigo. It's really excellent, especially there's one in a clock tower where the thing's spinning around and you still have to walk on it. It really, again, it's atmosphere for it. It's not, you know, really anything spectacular. Just little things like that, when done right, it, you know, it can really make or break a game. And this one does a great job of doing those little things right. The bad things that I have, it doesn't look great. It is, I would say, almost like an Xbox, an original Xbox looking game. It's rough around the edges. That doesn't bother me, but I know it bothers some people. It also, for not having great graphics, it gets hiccupy, like especially around when you're saving. You'll stop, and then you sort of, again, it only takes a couple seconds, and it's never actually frozen up on me, but it's something, you know, again, some people have a problem with it. Murphy has that ungodly gravelly voice that they seem to give every main character in games anymore. So that sort of drove me crazy. But that's, again, just a personal thing. And again, with the graphics not being great, the load times are really long sometimes. There's just times when you'll be just going into a different room and you're sitting there for what feels like 45 seconds. I mean, it takes a really long time for new environments to load, which is first world problem, but it's bothersome, you know, especially if you're a gamer. It also does that thing where, in order to not let you go somewhere, instead of putting an invisible wall there, they'll give you like a cardboard box, like covering up some steps, and you can't move it and you can't go over it. You just can't go to that area, which I prefer that over just the invisible wall, but it's still stupid. Give me something more. Build a wall or something. Don't give me a cardboard box that I can't walk over. Especially when through the rest of the game to solve puzzles, he's pulling wooden boxes around and moving them around. It's just, again, one of those personal things. There's only 2 boss fights in the game, and they're both really easy. So, you know, again, you're probably not playing it for the combat. You're playing it for the atmosphere and the puzzles. The puzzles are great, by the way. Difficult without being frustrating. But the boss fights are lame. They may as well just be regular characters with, well, the one's sort of a puzzle thing, but it's really easy to figure out, and there's no twists to it. And then the other one's just basically a regular enemy with a couple extra hits that it can take. They're lame. When you get to the endings, I only did 2 endings, but it had that, like, Wayne's World. Did you ever see Wayne's World? I don't know. I'm probably older than most of the people watching these videos, but in Wayne's World, there was, like, you know, the movie ended and it was like this super horrible ending, and everything that could go wrong went wrong. and then they go, oh wait, well let's change it. Now we're going to do the super good ending. Well, Silent Hill Downpour sort of had that same thing. I only got two choices at the end, and I guess if I did more side quests and stuff, it probably would have been different. But I basically did the storyline, and then the two endings, you can choose do this or do this. And if you do this, you get the super, super bad ending. And if you do the other thing, you get like this super, super good ending where I'm not even going to tell you what happens, but it's just sort of dumb. For for the complexity of the story itself and the way the game plays, having those very simplistic black and white endings was a little bit of a downer for me. But besides that, and none of this stuff should stop you from getting these games. They're fantastic games. Downpour is fantastic. The controls are much better than a regular Silent Hill game. And the HD collection, again, the games are kind of short, like once you figure them out. And they're a little bit weird control-wise, but they're both definitely worth getting. So Silent Hill collection, $40. Go ahead and get it. Downpour, I bought it new, and I don't have a problem with it. But if it's not your sort of thing, you might want to skip it. Or wait for it to go down, because it's not going to be, it'll go on sale fairly fast. So they're both worth picking up. I would say both for full price, but if you don't have that, again, if you don't have the money to buy a new game all the time, just wait. But they're both great. That's it. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to our channel. Our Facebook is Big and Stupid, STOOPID, and you're watching our channel, so just subscribe to it. And we'll see you next week. Next week with both of us, and we'll be arguing again. All right, bye.